The Sunday Scaries, or Sunday blues, as they're sometimes called, are feelings of anxiety or dread that happen the day before heading back to work after the weekend. Now, according to LinkedIn, 80% of professionals say they experience the Sunday Scaries. And they even say over 90% of millennials and Gen Z report feeling it. Now, I may be externally optimistic in this podcast, but I am an internal pessimist. So I know exactly how the Sunday Scaries feel. I get those feelings of dread on a Sunday afternoon. I love a Saturday. I love Friday night. But then comes Sunday, as the afternoon turns into night, I begin to dread Monday morning. So there are some ways to combat the Sunday Scaries. You could be kind to yourself. You could reconsider your schedule on what you do on a Sunday evening, maybe put some fun activities into it. And that leads into making your Sunday special. You could rearrange the order of what you do. You could also reach out. You could reach out to a friend, because we all benefit from friendships. Welcome to the Steven Thompson Experience. My name is Steven Thompson, and this is my experience. I use history and music to make connections with the goal of informing, educating, and inspiring others to go out and serve and love others. And hopefully together, we will do our part in making the world a little bit better. You Need a Friend is the song I'm focusing on today, and this was written in 1971 by Carole King. Now, there are many other versions of this song. King recorded her version in 1971 and included it on her second studio album. Also, there's a well-known version by James Taylor from his album Mud Slide Slim and the Blue Horizon. He released his on a single in 1971, and it got up to number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 and number 4 on the UK singles charts. The Carole King version and the James Taylor version were out at the same time, and they even did a duo of that song together. This song also won Grammys for Taylor, Best Male Pop Performance, and Carole King, Song of the Year. Now, over the years, dozens of artists have recorded You've Got a Friend, including Dusty Springfield, Michael Jackson, Aretha Franklin did a version, Anne Murray, and the Donny Hathaway version. Now, the Donny Hathaway version was the one that inspired this podcast episode, because I had never heard his version before. I was listening to a playlist called Pop Music Live and Loud, and it was all live versions of various performers. And this version came up, and as I was listening, I stopped what I was doing and went to the album that it was on. It's called Donny Hathaway Live, and I kept listening to this version, and it made me go and look at the lyrics of the song. Here's some of them. When you're down and troubled and you need some loving care, close your eyes and think of me, and soon I will be there to brighten up your even darkest nights. Friends are people who brighten the world for others. One person who did this comes to mind is Michel Charles de Eppe. He was a French educator in the 18th century. He taught students who could not hear, or deaf students. And in many cultures back in that time period, they thought that students and children who were deaf would never be able to be educated. And teachers would not even take these students into their classrooms, and they only did this for wealthy individuals. But in the mid-18th century, Michel Abbé de Eppe, he educated children who could not afford these special services. And he developed a system for spelling out French words with signs. And it was the alphabet expressed with simple concept or signs. And his system developed the FSL, which is French Sign Language, which is still in use today in France. And it was a precursor to ASL, the American version of sign language. So de Eppe made it possible for people who could not hear to be able to participate in the educational system and find a way to communicate with other people, because he used his talents to be a friend to other people. Friendship is powerful. There was a study that started in 1938. It was called the Harvard Study of Adult Development. And they wanted to investigate what made people flourish. They started off with 724 people in 1938. They were mainly boys from disadvantaged and impoverished homes in Boston. And then they also included Harvard undergraduates. It is the longest in-depth study on human life ever done. And they drew this conclusion. Even as the study runs today, and a few people are still alive, they found this out, that good relationships lead to health and happiness. The trick, they said the trick is that the relationships you're in have to be nourished. So how do we nourish our relationships? So let's return back to the lyrics of the song. You just call out my name, and wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you have to do is call and I'll be there. You've got a friend. Nourishing relationships means showing up, means being there when someone calls in every season of the year, committing to be the type of person who is present when someone needs it, and being willing to allow someone to be your friend when you need it. You see, the Sunday Scaries, or dreading going to work on a Monday, can be combated by being a friend at your workplace or looking forward to being a friend for someone else. So here's a challenge for the week. Write down a list of your friends and express gratitude for them. Number 2, here's another challenge. Who can you be a friend this week to by showing up when needed? Thank you for listening to the Steven Thompson Experience. My name is Steven Thompson, and this has been my experience. It is my goal and desire to inform, educate, and inspire and encourage others to create a path towards the goals you set, and hope you want to pass it on. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you again soon. I hope and pray that you will be the best version of yourself, and that you will find a path through, around, and over the obstacles that come your way. I enjoy history and great music, so go and listen to a version of You've Got a Friend this week if you need to pick me up, and I'll see you again later. Take care. Have a great one. Good evening.